Said I wasn't going to do this, but we're here. Manchester Derby, Man City 3, Manchester United nil at the Etihad. Manchester United destroyed us. Um, don't know what else to say. Vulnerable City makes us look even worse, apparently. Congratulations to Man City. Um, let's just move on from that. Let's get to the team. We'll just quickly talk about some players. My assessment on some of them. Let's start with we'll start front first. Shashko might as well have been Rasmus Hoyland. We wasted money. We wasted money and we could have bought a midfielder with him. That's just how it is. It has nothing to do with Shashko, the player. He could still do well. But clearly, as we have seen already in the first 5 games, uh, we just needed players elsewhere, more importantly. Mbeumo was the player of the match. First half, a little bit bad. Um, Overall, best player in the team. Ahmad, just really disappointing. It's not a current season thing. Even last season, he's been very disappointing. He had plays a lot of times on the width, never crossed it in. He would hold the ball, just cut in and just languid pass to another player. Apparently, he's the new Anthony. Apparently, he cannot shoot with his right foot. It didn't seem to mind before, but apparently he doesn't do it anymore. He doesn't take on people as much as he used to. Um, yeah, really disappointing for Mama Diallo. Then we go to Ugarte. So apparently we don't like passing to Ugarte at all because he's such a liability overall. Yet he was picked for the Manchester derby over Casemiro and Menu. We just absolutely do not want to pass to him unless it's absolutely necessary. There's a better chance of us passing to the fans. Maybe Gary Neville would have a chance at getting the ball up in the stands somewhere. There's a better chance of him getting the ball. He's so much of a liability that we won't even pass him the ball if we have even if we have an option, let alone a better one. Needless fouls, unnecessarily aggressive at wrong points of time, more of the same. Bruno had a bad game, at fault for the first goal, along with Patrick Dorgu. I think Patrick Dorgu was at fault for the first goal. We'll move on to him now. The It all started with a long ball going over Patrick Dorgu's head, where I think he thought it was going out or something, and then he realized it wasn't. It fell to Bernardo Silva, who somehow was faster than him, which I don't think anyone would believe. Could stay ahead of him for most of the game. Uh, Passes it in, slots it to Doku, who cuts past Luke Shaw and Matthias Delic like they were invisible men. Hits it first, gets blocked, crosses it back on the ricochet. Phil Foden heads it across goal. You could blame Bayern for that, but I don't think you can really for the first goal. But it is what it is. So that was the first goal. Um, yeah, minutes later, we go on to Mazraoui now because this is important for the second goal. So we spoke about Doku, now Mazraoui. Mazraoui was out of position all the time, made no crosses in the box as far as I can remember, or no good ones at least. Like I told you guys, I know you all don't want to admit it, but I told you Diego Dallo is going to walk right into that team. He got skinned for the second goal because him and Ugarte couldn't defend. They tried to isolate Man City players. He got completely skinned out of possession, pulled all our defense to one side. So much so that Luke Shaw was the last man. The left centre back was marking Haaland, pulled everyone out of position. Haaland slots it in through Bayern these legs. The second goal, I will blame Bayern a little bit, but as you can see, Nusa Masraoui, he's just right centre back material now. I think we have to come to terms with that. I know we were hoping for better, but clearly it won't be the case. It'll be more like this if he continues to play, I believe, at least. Then we go to the centre backs. In a system where the centre backs look like Maldini and Nesta, today they look like, I don't know, Mings and Tarkovsky. Um, Deligt didn't have a good game. Yoro didn't have a good game. Shaw had a bad game too. Yoro had such a bad game that he was the first sub off. They took off Yoro because he hit a couple of languid passes and put us in real trouble. Delik put us in really bad trouble as well. He tried to pass it around. Haaland gets the ball. Luckily, the ball goes just wide from his shot. He was one on one with Bindir. It would have been disastrous for us. Little later on, Luke Shaw had to make a last man tackle to save it. It could have easily been 5-0, easily been 5 6-0. Luke Shaw, even though he had a horrible game, did make a last-minute tackle to save us even more embarrassment, I suppose. So the centre backs didn't have a good game. And yeah, I mean, the third goal we'll talk about, I suppose, it's Harry Maguire who got subbed on for Lenny Yoro shortly after his mistakes around the back of the field. Um, at 2-0 down, he decides to bring in Harry Maguire. And Harry Maguire basically was caught on the halfway line. He tried to play it off. He tried to play around the City players on the ground. Basically gets intercepted. Haaland on the halfway line gets the ball released to him. Harry Maguire was never going to catch up to him. All our centre backs are ahead of Harry Maguire. Haaland just drove down the pitch, slotted around Bayern. You could blame Bayern for that, but we have seen that goal happen many, many times. So even though Bayern was bad, I would say for the second goal, the first and third goal, it is what it is. This time it didn't look so bad in the corners. He didn't look too shaky in the corners either. So that's it. Those are the players. We aren't going to talk about the subs because we're going to talk about it with Ruben Amorim. And so Ruben Amorim basically, and I don't know about you guys, but I like to sit with my thoughts a little bit after the game and film this video the next day. But Ruben Amorim basically said, "I am not going to change my policies. Basically, if you want change, they'll have to sack him." And when he was asked about Bruno Fernandes, he used the Arsenal game as an example, which, by the way, we did lose also. And yeah, he is. He clearly is stubborn. He clearly is stubborn. He clearly is not going to change his ways. You can blame the players if you want, but he, for the majority of the last 10 months, has been playing players out of position. It was okay in November last year when formation system, whatever the excuse was, but he's still doing it after preseason with players he's bought. Um, and he keeps playing players out of position. They clearly can't play there. Clearly keeps playing them there, and he keeps insisting on using games we do well in, and still somehow lose as the example. And I don't really get it. Um, I'm very disappointed in Ruben Amorim. He also has had the audacity to say that he's hurting more than the fans. I would like to just simply address this and say there is no chance in hell that you're hurting more than the fans, because we've been here for the last 13 years and you've been here for the last 10 months. So that felt a little insulting to my intelligence. I don't know how United fans feel about that, but that felt really insulting to my intelligence in particular. I'll speak for myself. So he doesn't want to change his policies. We are 31 games in, 8 wins. I think we've scored only 36 goals. And he thinks that we are on the right path, clearly, because he doesn't want to change. He has done nothing special in his career to be this continuously stubborn. I don't know where we go from here. I'm not Ruben Amorim out simply because I don't see the point, because a lot of people say back this manager, right? Like, but to back him to what end? He's going to sack himself at the end of the day. His philosophies are not working, and if he's too proud to see it, he's going to give himself the sack, and he's going to give himself the sack sooner than later, maybe probably in this year. So I don't know what you guys take out of that. I take out of the fact that again, this is kind of why I don't like listening to any kind of interviews and getting any kind of hype, because I feel like I know better than that now. And I was just really disappointed with his reaction to the match as well. He for whatever reason, he just thinks that his way is it's his way or the highway, and he's probably going to be on that highway when he gets sacked soon. I'm extremely disappointed, and yeah, this is not exactly the kind of reaction I was wanting to give, because I thought I'd break it down more. But quite honestly, the comments from Ruben Amram after the game has kind of just been sitting in my head, and I can't believe he said those things, like he's hurting more than the fans. And we played better against Arsenal's midfield. um his inability to change is going to be his downfall, and yeah, that's on him at the end of the day. And fair enough, if he wants to go down on his sword, he's going to go out on his sword and shield. And nobody's going to feel sorry for him, because he is literally the worst performing manager of Manchester United's history. And it's not a 5 game survey, it's a 35 game survey. So If people still think backing him blindly is the way to go, when he constantly plays players out of position, which is his choice, by the way, because he chooses the players, then you can join him. You can join him on that boat and suffer together. But for me, I'm just looking at it from the outside looking in. It doesn't look good for him. I'm extremely disappointed. I'm very annoyed. His response after the game was even poorer. And that's all I've got to say about that. I will see you in the next game, guys. Hopefully, we can do something against Chelsea because we got no midweek games anymore. Other than that, I will see you in the next video. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.